Hello chaps, this is Jim McKeown, and I thought, following up on that excellent suggestion from Des, I should make it as interesting as possible. If I myself am not very interested, just have a look at the background here for we happen to be in Nevada, so we came to Arizona and we're at the Grand Canyon, which I have never seen before except from aeroplanes. And so if you're not very interested in what I have to say, just look at the scenery, because it is awesome. I mean, I would say it leaves the Giant's Causeway standing. Anyway, I'm not altogether sure what the format for this should be, so I'm really just going to blither away. I feel a bit like Rip Van Winkle, because I was totally cut off for decades from everybody, and everybody else was kind of cut off. So it wasn't like Rip Van Winkle going back to the village and everybody knew everybody else except him, because we're a whole gang of Rip Van Winkles. Anyway, something about me. I've lived in America for almost exactly 30 years now. I live in Wisconsin. I'm getting close to retirement, so my wife and I have bought a farm, which is where we're going to retire to and have pigs and it started off with our interest in horses, and then I have two sons and two stepdaughters. The two stepdaughters live and work in Madison, in Wisconsin, and Mark, my elder son, he runs a commercial salmon boat in Alaska. He's just come back from the season, thank goodness, safe and sound. And my younger son, Matthew, lives in Hong Kong. We have four grandsons, ranging from 12 to 1, and they're all pretty terrific. I think that'll... No, wait a minute, I have had an idea, so I might as well give it to you now. Here it is. Why don't we organise for charity a rugby match against the present school first 15, always assuming, of course, they have nothing better to do on St. Patrick's Day. I would have thought people would raise an awful lot of money for that, because we would be a whole team of geezers aged either 67 or 68. I would only be 67. I'm getting warmed up here. So as long as there are plenty of ambulances standing by, I mean, and they were a wee bit gentle with us, we might be able to do that, and we would surely get into the Guinness Book of Records, because I think that would come to the combined age of the team being over 1,000. By the way, that reminds me about the Grand Canyon. You should see it. I mean, it is the most truly awesome place I have ever been. We came out just now and saw the sunrise. We came out in the dark and there's nobody here. It's as quiet as can be, and everybody should see it. Now, oh yeah, I was supposed to talk about my Lamborghini. I haven't got a Lamborghini. I wouldn't know what to do with it. But I did manage the trophy wife. Though on the metaphor of trophy, she could probably do with a wee bit of Brasso just now. She's taken this photograph, so this may be cut out. Anyway, if this doesn't come out, I'll do it again back at the farm in a few days. Talk to you later. Bye. This is the second installment of me reintroducing myself after 50 years. I'm not at the Grand Canyon anymore. I'm sitting outside the wee cabin that we have at our farm. Anyway, I've actually got a piece of paper here with things written on it because I suspect it was rather gibberish and inconsequential, the stuff I was saying before. So, anyway, things are a bit different nowadays. 50 years ago, we had a low-life president here. Britain wasn't yet part of the common market, and I wrote something down funny. Oh, and I had a different hairstyle, and it was just after I'd watched the moon landing on the only television in a little Greek village. We live on a farm with various types of animals. We've only one horse, but we've 3 mules. We have 9 alpacas and a llama to guard them from the coyotes. We have got 4 pigs that are just about ready to go to the butcher. We have bees for the first time this year, and 1 dog, and 9 chickens. We used to have 16. 3 of them got too old and stopped laying, and 4 of them were unfortunately killed by a raccoon. Probably a raccoon anyway. It could have been a possum. Anyway, I'm still at work. I teach classics at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, which is an hour and a half away from here, but I only have to go in once a week, and then I stay with our daughter and the grandsons, the 2 grandsons that are there, and her husband, of course. And then I come home, and Joe does all the farm work while I'm away. While I'm lolling about in coffee shops, she's out trudging through the snow and whatever. I hadn't intended to come to America permanently. I came to Madison for a sabbatical, and it just seemed so wonderful so I had a job in England, and I gave that up and came here, and I've been here since 1990, and I'm sure it'll see me out. Did I mention I have 2 sons, Mark, who's a commercial salmon fisherman in Alaska, and Matthew, who is an English teacher in Hong Kong. We had 2 stepdaughters who are both in Madison, Annie and Stevie, and 4 grandsons, aged was between 1 and 12, and they're all wonderful. We bought the farm to retire to, but although Joe is retired, I have no intention of retiring yet. I kind of like what I'm doing, both places, and probably Joe likes a wee bit of a rest from me during the week as well, but I wouldn't really say that. What was he? Oh, the reason it occurred to us to have a farm, neither was it any history of it before, was we had horses for a long time before this, and we just thought we'd want a place in the country where we could have our own horses, and then it sort of snowballed from that, and we got a bigger place than we might otherwise have been intending. Did I say when I was at the Grand Canyon, I'm still interested in rugby, and I'll be going to Japan in October. Is anybody else going to Japan? I'll be seeing 2 Welsh games and 1 Irish game at the start of October. I can't go for any longer because it's term time, and I'm kind of getting a wee bit of a vacation in the middle of it. It's a family reunion as well, coming from Hong Kong and Alaska and whatever. Is anybody else like me and can hardly remember anything that happened during the school's cup final? Right. The only thing I can really remember is in the first scrum, one of the rainy second rows put his hand through the scrum, grabbed me by my abundant curly hair, and said, "I remember you from last year, you wee bastard." But we won, which is about all I remember else about it. And he'd better not try that again, because I'm ready for him this time. What else? Oh yeah, I've only been back to Ravenhill. I know it's not called that anymore. I've only been back once, and that was 2 years later when Inst were playing Ballyclare High School, and I was cheering for Ballyclare, and they won because my brother David was playing for them. Now, the game I do remember most vividly that year, this is a paradox. Stevenson were playing Larmer, and we had both props, one of the second rows, the number 8, both halfbacks and both wings. And Larmer, as I remember it, only had Hugh and Joe playing for them. So, of course, it was a foregone conclusion. Anyway, Stevenson lost. And that was a kind of life-changing thing for me. I never bet on anything now. Now, I think I mentioned last time about a geriatric rugby match. So do bear that in mind, please, if it seems anything other than dementia. Right, that's Joe, who's been taking these films, is telling me now to put a sock in it, for she's fed up holding the camera. So I'll stop for now, and I hope everybody can tell us all something maybe a bit less blethersome than I've managed. Bye for now, everybody.